Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Pink Floyd Completion Project. Today we are taking a look at On an Island by David Gilmour. Sorry that there wasn't a video Monday or I guess Tuesday for you, but I was on my way home from New York that day, and didn't get home till well after dark, so I couldn't make one, and I was also very tired. Um, I will talk about my concert experience in the last video of this project before I do a series of ranking videos about this. So, yeah. Um it was great. It was fucking great. But today we are taking a look at David Gilmour's third solo album, On an Island. It's good. It's good. I don't know if my perception of this album has been tainted by the hell of a show I saw on Sunday night, um, or if my opinion of this album has just, changed slightly. Um, but it's good. It's good. And when I say it's good by David Gilmour standards, by any other standards, it's fucking amazing. But number one, first song, Castle Horizon. It starts with, a classic sound cacophony, and then Dave comes in with a glorious solo. It's, it's fantastic. It's fucking David Gilmour. And then song number two, On an Island, Dave, and then David Crosby and Graham Nash of Crosby, Stills, and Nash harmonize on beautiful vocals, and then a beautiful solo follows, and you've got Rick Wright himself on keys on two of the songs on this album, and on vocals on one of them, and he did join Dave on the tour, which we will look at next time. Also, we're not going to take a look at Saira. Like, not going to happen. Same thing with The Soldier's Tale. Just not going to happen in the Roger camp. Just not going to happen. Like, partially because I don't want to, partially because I really want to get done with this project at this point. And then The Blue, song number three. It's very tranquil. Dave and Rick harmonized for the last time on a studio album, and Rick was still fucking awesome. This late in the game, 2006, he died 2 years later. And Dave's solo is excellent as always. And then Take a Breath. It's the highest energy song on the album. It's it's a heavy blues jam with then, of course, amazing slide solo out of Dave, followed by another fucking great solo on a Strat, because it's David Gilmour, and he's incapable of making something terrible. Even About Face is still pretty damn good. Red Sky at Night is largely just a beautiful sax solo played by David Gilmour himself. That's awesome. This Heaven is a laid-back blues jam. It's also basically him going like, hey, I'm pretty good at where I am. I don't need millions of dollars. Like, I don't want, that millions of dollars offered for, me and the rest of the guys of the Floyd to do a North American tour after that Live 8 reunion. Like, yeah, it's a good deal, but I'm good. I'm good. And they're not going to tour without me. Right? That's basically the energy of the song. Number 7, then I Close My Eyes. It's a laid-back, jazzy instrumental. Smile. Polly Sampson actually sings on this one. It's not super prominent, but I was listening to it, and I took a look at the personnel in this little book here. I don't really like this case. I'll get into that at the end. But I was just like, oh yeah, Polly Sampson sings on this, doesn't she? And I was just like, boom, yes, she does. But this is, very clearly a love song, and it's nice and acoustic. It was basically done when Dave did it on his in-concert release, or on his in-concert shows. A Pocket Full of Stones. It's a quiet piano and vocal song. It's very intimate. It's kind of like a restaurant late at night. And then it's got another beautiful guitar solo. And then the final song, Where We Start, It's a nice full circle moment from the album. The energy this album gives off is just like, yep, I'm David Gilmour. You know, I make stuff when I want to. I wanted to make this. You know, I don't know if I'll make another one. You know, but he doesn't rule out the possibility on this one. And, you know, which, you know, makes sense because, you know, he was in his late 50s, early 60s at the time, which, you know, he could still fucking rock at that point. He fucking still does. Uh, um, but, you know, he definitely had it in him to go for another little while. Fuck it. I'm going to say it. Go buy it. Go buy it. I highly recommend it. I highly recommend it, especially if you're a Floyd fan, and especially if you're a David Gilmour fan in particular. If you are a David Gilmour fan, you probably already own this. This cover art, it kind of reminds me of a children's book that, like, you know, and it helps that, you know, it basically is a mini children's book. I believe this is a very common style for that type of book in England. I don't really like this case, you know, not because it's a book, but because of this fucking thing for the CD. I would have just preferred that to be plastic because now every time I take this disc out, I feel like I'm going to break it because there's so much resistance from that cloth thing. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I highly recommend it. David Gilmour would, of course, tour for this album in 2006, and we will take a look at that in the next one. Again, fantastic album. I believe David Gilmour turned 60 the day it released. Yeah. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like on it. If you have something to add, please do so in the comment section down below. If you want to continue along this musical journey with me, please feel free to subscribe. If you want to hear me talk about something other than music, I have a podcast with two of my buddies. It's called Dorkies. I will leave a link to the most recent episode of that in the description below. And if you want to hear what I happen to be listening to that day, you can follow me on Instagram at Sean_Heastern 1979. I post a 15-second segment of a song on my story there every single day. And with that, I would like to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one, which will be me reviewing the live album, not Live in Gdansk, Remember That Night by David Gilmour. We're going to stick with largely David Gilmour this week. I don't know how the rest of this week's going to play out. But yeah, I'd like to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.